What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Is It OP, the series where we take a look at some of DF2's most stereotypically overpowered weapons and put them to the test, see if they do in fact live up to their reputation. Now, this week we're going to be looking at the Lock and Load, which, if you ask the community, probably isn't one of the most stereotypically overpowered weapons, but in my mind, this is one of the most powerful and most underappreciated weapons in the game right now, and if you give me just a few minutes to explain, I'm going to show you exactly why. Now, let's start off here by looking at some of the stats for this weapon. And if you look at them, they're not that impressive. You get 20% extra damage and a slightly faster projectile speed. But as a cost for that, you only get half the ammo in each clip. And on top of that, if you miss your grenade, it will immediately disappear on impacting with a surface, which means you either need to hit your target directly or you will do no damage at all, because unlike the normal grenade launcher, there are no rollers to do damage if you end up missing, which makes this a very risky weapon to use, and it is one that relies heavily on you being accurate. So a lot of people see these stats and they go, well, I get a little bit of extra damage, but half the clip size, the extra damage I take myself, and the fact that there are no rollers, surely this weapon isn't worth it. That's pretty terrible. But in reality, it is unbelievably strong. Now, when you're looking at the damage, you don't want to look at this as just the damage numbers. Don't look at the fact that it's 20% extra damage. In effect, a lot of the time, this weapon is effectively dealing double the damage of any other weapon in the game. Now, the reason I say that is because you don't want to look at damage numbers when considering how hard it is to kill someone. Instead, we want to look at how many pills or how many grenades it takes to kill your enemy. With a normal grenade launcher, at most, one of your grenades is going to do about 102 damage, okay? That effectively means to kill any other player in the game, it will take a minimum of 2 grenade pills to kill someone who's got 125 or 150 health. Or if they're a soldier or any class who's got over about 180 health or even 175 health if it's a demo, you're going to need 3 grenade pills to kill them. The Lock and Load, however, with its extra 20% bonus damage, is able to kill any 125 HP class, so that's the Scout, the Engineer, the Spy, or the Sniper. It can kill any of those in a single shot from the Lock and Load. That effectively means it is twice as powerful when fighting these classes, because you only need to hit 1 pill against these enemies. And on other higher HP classes that have something like 200 health that you normally need 3 pills to kill, you can actually kill with just 2 shots from the Lock and Load. But, as I was saying earlier, there is a huge amount of risk associated with this weapon, because of the fact that it only has 2 shots in every clip, and if you don't hit those shots directly, they are just going to disappear and do 0 damage, which means that if you actually happen to fire off your 2 shots, and the enemy you're fighting isn't dead, then you're just going to be standing there with your hands up in the air, unable to do any more damage to them, looking really awkward. That is why, whenever I'm using the Lock and Load, I absolutely insist on pairing it up with the Charge and Charge. Now, you might be wondering why that is. Well, the damage resistance on the Charge and Charge is key to keeping you alive if you miss your 2 shots and you're standing there in one of those awkward situations. The Charge and Charge leaves you with 2 options. Either A, the extra tankiness that it gives you, which is a huge amount of resistance to every kind of damage except bullet damage, means you can either just sit there and reload your pills while they're trying to kill you, but only doing a tiny amount of damage so they're actually unable to kill you, and then that'll give you enough time to reload and finally kill them. Or, as the other option, you can just quickly turn around and charge away to get around a corner, reload, and then go back in. That is why the Charge and Charge is almost essential when using the Lock and Load, because without it, if you miss your 2 shots, then you're kind of left there in a pretty vulnerable position. The Charge and Charge basically negates that, and means that you are both able to deal unbelievable amounts of damage, and are really hard to kill, because if you get in trouble, like I did there on low health, I just immediately charge away from the fight and go find some health. Or if I'm in a one-on-one with someone, they're only doing maybe 50 or 60 damage per rocket, as opposed to about 100 damage per rocket, which lets me sit there and tank a huge amount of damage, as you're going to see in the last clip of this video. But because of the high risk associated with this weapon and how accurate you have to be, it definitely isn't suitable for every map, and you definitely have to kind of think about the areas that you're playing with this gun in. You can see in this clip here, I'm playing inside the house. That's because there are a lot of kind of thin alleyways, choke points, and basically it makes it a lot easier to hit enemies, because they have to walk certain ways around certain props, and it makes their movement a lot easier to predict. The best situation for this weapon is when you can see a big group of people, and you just lob 2 quick grenades into that group and you'll be dealing 200 damage to all of them, which basically means that you're almost guaranteed to kill every single person in that group who isn't overhealed or who isn't a heavy, and just get some insane amounts of damage out. It's actually quite scary, and as you can see there, people actually start to get pretty annoyed that you can kill them with a single shot from your lock and load. So, if we summarize here and look at all the different stats around this weapon and this kind of loadout in general, you've got the ability to one-shot almost half the classes in the game. The Spy, the Sniper, the Scout, and the Engineer. It's also incredibly effective at taking out sentries, as it can kill a level 3 in only 2 pills from all the way across the map, which are a lot easier to hit with the 25% extra projectile speed. On top of that, when you combine it with the Charge and Targe, you're also taking very little damage at all, because you've got the shield, which is providing 50% damage resistance to explosives, and pretty much all other types of damage. And in addition to that, if you get caught out in a position where you shouldn't be, and even the damage resistance won't save you, you can just quickly charge away, put a bit of distance between you and the enemy, pick up a health pack, and then come back in once you've fully reloaded. And as you can see in this clip here, I'm just sitting up here taking damage from all sides, missing all my pills, but it doesn't matter because you simply are so hard to kill by pretty much any class that doesn't deal bullet damage. And then you can one-shot any class under 125 HP and two-shot pretty much every other. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I personally think this is one of the most underappreciated weapons in the game, so I hope you guys give it a go, and I will see you next time.